We have a huge relationship with the business community. Organizations such as Home Depot, since we brought Catholic Community Services up, building the forever homes for foster children. Our relationship with Home Depot, I can't even tell you how many materials we've been able to provide for free to Catholic Community Services, from mini blinds to the kitchen sink, in building those homes. So it's just another resource. If an organization wants to start an after-school program, we have a relationship. We've been able to provide computers from IBM and other local retailers in order for them to get that going. So I think that our nonprofit community is outstanding, but they need our support, and especially now some of them are out there in a place where they don't have as many resources as before, and we hope to be able to leverage as much of that as possible.
And I think that holds true for many in the community, from the nonprofit organizations to many of the businesses during this tough time. And it's nice to hear the positive affirmation of the things that are going on in partnership between business, the nonprofits, and the individual citizens that are stepping up and all coming together to make things happen. That's a lot better than the criticisms that are levied sometimes using generalities, you know, using business just as a generic term that means something that is not anything to do with the things that have been talked about here. And I think we need to keep that in mind as a community, and you both have done that very well at talking about the way in which folks from business, they are citizens that own local businesses that step up and provide that service, as well as what the nonprofits do in return in providing that service. As we come down to the conclusion of this particular program, this time of year often elevates that need and the discussion around giving, but really the work that you both do and the work of your partners takes place all year round. So talk about how that year-round work takes place not only in December around the holiday season, but throughout the balance of the year. And maybe we can just leave folks with how, not that they need to see this program being anything other than how they might give of themselves and their own time throughout this next year. A lot of people will make resolutions and say, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Maybe it can be, I do want to invest more, not of anything monetarily, but of myself in making a difference in the life of
like
another.
I was saying earlier with the businesses, going from primarily money to helping one or two times to an ongoing posture of assistance. We could say the exact same thing about the churches in our community. And because at one time, especially this time of year, food and blankets, some Thanksgiving meals, I mean, these things are wonderful and they help. But if it's just between Thanksgiving and Christmas, that's only 1 out of 12 months. That's only 5 out of 52 weeks. So how do we cultivate a desire to provide stuff and money, but more importantly ourselves? And I think we need to tip our hats to the businesses in our community, to the schools in our community, to the churches in our community, who are figuring out how do we use our buildings 24/7 instead of just a little bit of time. How do we work together to maximize resources instead of everybody trying to do their own thing, which doesn't use resources very well? How do we play off each other's strengths? And again, the churches are just figuring out great ways to use their buildings, to use their peoples, to benefit the neighbors that are right around them. After-school programs, community gardens, English classes, high school diplomas, parenting classes, I mean, you name it. Churches are figuring out ways to serve their neighbors. Businesses are figuring out ways to serve their neighbors, nonprofits.
So. Exactly.
And so if they want to connect with SLF, Salem Leadership Foundation, to be a part of a neighborhood,
we'll plug them in. We don't really own any programs. It's kind of like United Way. You don't own any of your own programs. I guess the connections, the brokering of resources is one example. But really, you're empowering other organizations. That's what we try to do too. So they could go to our website, salemlf.org. They could email me at sam@salemlf.org, and we'll plug them in as best we can. That's what we do.
Yep. And Hands on Mid-Willamette Valley, which they can reach through our United Way, mwv.org website as well, really is a great place to get a volunteer opportunity. But I think it's a great point that the holiday season is when we often think about it. But we know that the food bank, some of the worst time of year for them is in the summer, because they've kind of used up all the stocks then and all the flood of things that they receive this time of year. So And some people say, oh, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough dollars. But even if you're growing a vegetable garden and you grow a little extra produce for our local food bank, or give just an hour on one Saturday a month, it really is just that simple. Anything that you want to do is helpful and helps open your eyes, and it really pays such huge dividends back to you as a person, more so than you'll ever give.
So if somebody's been moved to connect with you in the volunteer aspects of how can they go about
They can, so what they can do is they can connect online to hands-on through our website or through the hands-on midwillamette-valley.org website as well, but they're connected right through United Way too, and they can just link over to that. And we list all kinds of opportunities that are available, but they can also let us know what their skill set is, and we will certainly find an opportunity for them.
Well, I want to thank you both for the great work that you do in this community and the passion with which you do it and how you inspire others. And I see in my day-to-day life that that truism that was taught to me as a child certainly still rings true today, that it is more blessed to give than to receive, and that for all of those that are watching and have joined us today, that one way we can keep Salem on the move is if we each think about the way in which we can give to others. And we've got a whole season of celebration that can be done, but a whole year coming up in 2010 where we can think about ways to keep Salem on the move by reaching out and touching our neighbor and our friends and our family in ways that would be helpful. Thank you for joining us here for Salem on the Move.